To install Neo4j, there are two ways to do use a Neo4j. One is to use a Neo4j desktop, and one is to use a Neo4j sandbox. Neo4j sandbox is recommended if you're not able to use a desktop version, or if you're not able to install in your system the desktop version. So as it is given in the instruction here in Canvas, Neo4j server, it's available for just 3 days. You can extend for 10 days later. But it's a free cloud-based instance, like we used Atlas for the MongoDB. So today we'll go through how to install Neo4j desktop, and then we'll load a database, movies database, and then we'll see how the Neo4j database looks like. To install a Neo4j desktop application, you need to go to neo4j.com download and download the Neo4j desktop. Yeah. Go to neo4jdownload.com, you'll be able to see the Neo4j desktop version. You can just download it. And once you download it, you'll need to install that locally in your system. And once you install, it'll redirect you to the activation key. So if you're installing it for the first time, you'll need this to activate the Neo4j desktop. So you can go through the installation video as well here to how do we use this key to activate the Neo4j desktop. Right. So once you install a Neo4j desktop version, so the next thing is to create a project. The default name is project, and once you create a project, we need to create a database, which is a local graph. So to do that, uh, go to your Neo4j install version, Neo4j desktop, and here you see that there's a new button here. You can just click on this, or you can, if you have a local projects available for you, Neo4j local projects, you can just click on this down arrow button. You'll see the create project from directory, or import sample project, or import project from archive. So there are many ways to create a project. You can also use this sample project, and Neo4j has a lot of sample projects available to just practice. You can select any of the projects to practice. So right now we'll create a new project, and then see we'll go through how to set a database password, and then how to open it in a Neo4j browser. Click on new. And as I said, as soon as you click on new, the project name will be by default it will be project. You can just click on the edit button here, and then rename that to any name you want. I'm gonna just say this test project, and then yes. So once you create a project, you need to create a local graph or a database. So to do that, click on a arrow button here. You'll see a local DBMS remote connection or a file. So local DBMS is where you'll be creating your graph or a DBMS. Remote connection is where you'll have a Neo4j server or instance running in remotely, and then that connection string you will give it here. So in this installation review session, we'll look into a local DBMS. Click on local DBMS, and you'll see the details of the DBMS. You can just say the name of the DBMS, and say test DB, and set a password. Say I'm going to say admin, and then create. It will take some time to create. So once it's created, we'll go through the how to reset or how to open in a Neo4j browser. Yeah, so it got created. You can see that there is a start button, and uh, you can see that these three dots. These are the options. You can say there is settings, and you can even remove the database. And all these are the advanced options. You can say open folder. You can import plugins. You can import file, or you can edit the configurations. And say you already created a project under DB, but you don't remember the password at all. So how to reset the password? You can go to detail section here and say that reset DBMS password. You can just type a new password here and click apply. It will reset the password for you. So since I have already started one of the instance, it's not giving me option to update. So and let's start the project. To start the project, just you just need to click on the start button here. So go to your project, go to your DB, and then click on the start button. It will take some time to start. Once it's started, it will be in active state, and then you can open that in on your project browser. So before that, let's go through the new project data, creating the project and database again. So you create a new project, you rename it. By default, it will be just project, and you create a local graph or a new database. And you can set a password here, and you can once you set a password, you can just say start. And once it's started, it will be in active state, and then you can click on open to open in a Neo4j browser. You can use a Neo4j desktop inbuilt Neo4j browser, or you can type this URL in your browser and access the Neo4j database. So if you, yeah, so this is to reset your password. So as I said, you can go to click on your database and you can reset a password from here. So now let's open this database in the Neo4j browser. So there are different options to access the database. To you visually see the graph database and then execute some cipher queries. We will be using the Neo4j browser. Bloom is to just to see the schema of the database, and there are a lot of other applications available for it. Neo4j ETL tool, terminal, and some of the development applications. So let's first open in the Neo4j default browser. So yeah, so here you can see that it opened in a Neo4j default browser. And let's try to open in a different browser altogether. Let's say localhost 7474 and say browser. So it will open in you open in your browser. You can give your database. If you leave empty, it will set for default. Uh, and then you can give your Neo4j. By default, Neo4j username is Neo4j, database username. So in the same Neo4j and then the password, and then connect. And you can see that it got connected to the Neo4j. So if you see that the Neo4j default browser and the normal browser, there is not much difference in that. Both are same. So let's recap one more time. So uh, we created a database. We opened the database in Neo4j browser. We opened that in a native browser, Chrome or Safari. You can use any of the browser. And we did go through how to reset the password. And we'll start with a few of the cipher commands. So to yeah, so once you open your database in a browser, you can see that there'll be there'll be a search bar or a cipher text query bar available for you guys here. So you can just say help help commands and just run this query. You'll be able to see. help commands, and then we'll be able to see your queries available to you in the Cipher query. So let's go one by one. So help commands, once you connect it to browser, you can just type on colon help commands. It will give you the available commands. And once that is done, so there is a sample database available for you guys to play around. To do that, you can just say -play movie graph. Say -play and movie graph. It will it will give you the interactive session of the movie database. You can say that movie graph is a mini graph application containing actors and directors that are related to through the movies they have collaborated on. So this will guide you how to work on this database. So the if you just click on the next step, it will show you how to create the new nodes and then how to work with the created nodes. So just click on the create. It will paste the Cipher query in the text box. And once it is copied, you can just click on play and you can see that it created the movie graph. And you can just follow the same thing. So once that is done, uh, you can click next here and then you can say that there are a few sample queries available to explore the movie graph. You can just say if you want to find the name Tom Hanks, you can just click on the match here and it will copy paste the query and then you can just execute and it will give you back the result. So, so next. And let's say if you want to say, if you want to find the movies released in 1980, 1990s, right? So just click on that. That will be copied to Neo4j search bar, and then there you can see that this is a variable and this is a node, and you can say that where 90s dot released is the property of this node, and this is a variable assigned to that node. And that's why you're using 90s dot release is greater than or equal to 1990, and you can say 90s dot released is less than 2000 and return 90s dot title. So this will give you a list of movies released in 1990s. Just click on execute. It will give you the table which has the title of the movies. Why it is giving in a table format, but why not in a graph? Because you are accessing the property, not the graph. You are accessing the property of the movie, not the graph. So you can just remove this 90s dot title and then execute. And here, since here also we are using the property, it will give back in the same way. So you can see, click on the graph, you'll see the movies listed in the graph. You can, again, if you say title, it will give you back in the table format. And to say if you want to visualize the schema, say what all the properties are there, what all the variables available in the movie database. Right? So to do that, we can say to run that, say call db dot schema dot visualization, and you can see that. So when you see the empty node here, to click on the uh, movie node here and then select the property which you want to be displayed in this. Click on this movie and then say I want to display the name of that. You click on that name and then it will show you the name. If you see the blank, so this is a schema of the movie database. So you can say the person directed the movie, wrote the movie, or produced, reviewed, or acted in that movie. Right. So apart from this, so you can see that on the left side of your graph panel, you can see that there are database information given. You can see that there are 171 nodes and 253 relationship types. Sorry for public safety message. Yeah, so you can see that there are a property keys, born, name, rating, and then the release of the movie, the roles, and you can see other DBMS related properties. What is the cluster, and then the version, which version the Neo4j is running right now. And these are the nodes, and these are the labels. 171 nodes and movie and person. These are the two labels, and the 253 relationship types, and these are the relations. And you can say you can see here that how many nodes are available here, and how many relationships are available. Any questions still on?
Hey, hi, this is Vishal. So
Yeah,
actually here, if we are like in SQL database, we store data in form of tables, in MongoDB in forms of collection and documents. For Neo4j means how do we generally store the data?
it will be stored in a graph format. Say you'll have instead of a table you will have a label, and then in the label you will have properties, and then that particular label will be related to some different label or the different property. Like let me show on screen. Say this is a movie label, right? So click on the title. You can say this is the movie name, right? You can so instead of a column, you can say this is my label, and then the related properties or related, you can say connect columns or rows. Say in this movie, these are the people who acted or directed. These are somewhat similar to normal DBMS or MongoDB, but the way we represent the data is different.
Okay, okay.
You can even see that in the table format as well.
So can we say that representation is different in form of graphs, but the
Mm.
storing data is the same manner as we are doing in like SQL database? Is it?
No. It's not same as SQL database. It will be graph representation. Say one person, say you will have some relation, and then this is what that relation means, the property. It is not just a column and tables, column and rows.
Okay, okay.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't gone through the week 9 yet, but
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't understand what's the advantage of using this. Um, I feel that I'm playing with some wiggly bubbles and I cannot make uh, find any connection between using this
Mhm.
and data. What's the point of using this? Where we use this in real work? How they use
Okay.
it? Can you show me the real work, real project?
Yeah. So the simple example would be, say, you are working on some machine learning project, right? So you are to build a model. What you will
Uh-huh.
be doing, you will be finding some relationship related to that data, right?
Hmm.
So if that is there in the MongoDB or SQL format, you will have to write a pre-process. You will have to pre-process the data to get the relationship and then apply to the model and then perform the performance on that, like any of the training models, right? So if you have that in a Neo4j, Neo4j has a relationship already set.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You got it right. So in that way, it is useful. It's just one simple example, but there are a lot of use cases available for them.